What's going on, everyone? About 61% of the S&P 500 closed up in the green today, but I don't think too many people care about that, as Bitcoin is where the action is truly at right now. Bitcoin crossed above $88,000 per Bitcoin today, and this thing is running like... I can't even compare it to anything else. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the craziest moves that are happening with this explosive action with Bitcoin and other crypto stocks right now, the key stocks to keep on your radar for tomorrow, and some important information to know for the week. It's a great time to be a trader, and there's a lot of opportunity if you know where to look. So make sure to stick with us all the way until the end. But Tom, what is going on in this crazy market right now?
I know, right? SPY was so boring today from open. I'm not even going to do any analysis on that. I'll save that for later. But Bitcoin was amazing, right? We look at Bitcoin, and all weekend, Bitcoin was popping off. We talked about it on last night's video as well. Even Saturday into Sunday, it was exploding. And then today, whenever the stock market opened, we really saw Bitcoin pop off in a crazy way. It's at 88,000 now. Who knows what it's going to be at when this video even uploads? It keeps moving up $1,000 every 30 minutes here, it seems like. But nonetheless, this is amazing, Mike, and we're seeing a lot of good inflows into Bitcoin stocks, and we've been talking about these a ton over the past few days, like Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Mara, Riot, even some weirder ones like BT are up an insane amount today, like 26%. These inflows are insane.
Exactly. So basically, ever since the election happened, crypto has been in full rocket mode. Trump wants to make the United States the crypto capital of the planet, and we can see ever since this election happened, there have been some areas of the market that have just been like getting overwhelmed with the amount of just like buyers flowing into it, while there have been other areas of the market that have definitely been a lot slower. Bitcoin and the whole crypto space has been the strongest area of the market ever since the election. Of course, we talked about Bitcoin a decent amount already, but when you look at other Bitcoin and crypto-related companies out there, like Coinbase, they really go to show you how explosive this price action is. If you look at a chart of Coinbase exactly 1 week ago, and you look at its low point from that day, so last Monday, to the high price of today, you will see Coinbase is up 90% in one trading week. This is insane. And whether you're looking at Coinbase or MSTR or Mara or Riot or Bitcoin itself, there's of course a lot of opportunity to be had by trading the move and taking advantage of this bullishness. But what's more important than your directional prediction is how you manage it. Sure, it's awesome to make a bunch of money riding this bull trend up, but the main thing is you want to make sure when that trend turns, you're not left holding the bag.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people will end up having that happen. Unfortunately, it happens on every single big run that we've ever seen, right? But right now, obviously, keep enjoying the gains and, just be smart about your trades. Obviously, right now, the buyers are in control. The bulls are in control. Of course, there will be a time, though, whenever we do start to see a bit of a slowdown. And we actually did kind of see that today, Mike, out of a different sector, which was the chip stocks. AMD, Nvidia, a couple others were actually slowing down, and people were like, what's going on? The market's moving up and Nvidia's down. What, like why? And it's like, hey, sometimes these inflows just, they start to leave a little bit, and people start to focus on other sectors as well. And I think a lot of the focus that's been on that tech sector is obviously going into some of these other stocks like Mara and Riot and Coinbase and all these stocks where people are looking at this explosive future potential out of these. And of course, we keep saying this about Trump, but there's also a big thing with Bitcoin and halving, which is a pretty big deal with Bitcoin. Whenever we look at the previous halving events with Bitcoin, following the halving event, the following year, we've seen some pretty insane numbers. So the first one in 2016, we saw a 283% increase there. On the last halving, we saw a 423% increase in Bitcoin following that one. And now, of course, on this halving, we'll see where it ends up, right? But it's starting off in a very, very good way so far following the halving. And a lot of people talk about those Bitcoin halving cycles. And, cycles have been talked about a lot in the stock market and different sectors. And of course, whenever you have something like halving, that is something to look at. But this is fantastic movement, Mike. And I just can't wait to see how we end up shaping up tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Because I hope that this wave continues so that we can keep seeing these nice big gains. Like some of the bot plays today were crazy, like 300 to 500%.
Don't even get me started on that, Tom. We'll definitely hit on that as the video goes on. But like in the simplest sense, you have to follow the money. Of course, cryptos are getting a great bid right now, but even some stocks like Tesla have been rocketing ever since the election for multiple reasons. So of course, keep stocks like Tesla still close on the radar as they are moving with a lot of powerful momentum as well. But one thing that I thought was very interesting and very important that you brought up is that if we look at the heat map, while it has been a generally bullish market, some areas of the market are seeing more selling than you would expect. Nvidia today was a stock that was down 1.6%, and it was joined by many other big tech stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, AVGO, and a handful of others. And I think what this ultimately shows is that we're really just seeing a shift in where the money's flowing, just like you're saying. Of course, a lot of money is, rushing into the crypto market right now, but that money has to come from somewhere, and it looks like big tech is where it's coming from, at least right now.
Yeah, I couldn't believe Microsoft was extremely bloody on the chart today, and there's actually some pretty good technical analysis on Apple's chart to the downside as well. And, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer because we're seeing such good inflows in other parts of the market, but there's been this huge double top on Apple up around 236 to 237, and I think a lot of traders have been worried about that. I'm really eyeing up this Apple support around 220 in the short term. If we do start to break below 220, I'll even get a little bit more worried than I am now, but that is one big support that I'm watching that we hit just last week.
Yeah, so let's definitely keep that on the radar as well. But we can't forget, Tom, that we are still in earnings season. And we have a pretty exciting lineup for the week. There's nothing like too crazy for tomorrow, but I think Shopify, Home Depot, Kava, Spotify, and Oxy will also be pretty interesting reports. And then we also can't forget about Mara tomorrow after the bell as well. But as we go throughout the week, there should be some pretty good movement.
Yeah, even Cisco on Wednesday. We have even some of the China stocks like JD and Baba, which have been kind of dipping following some of those good inflows that we were seeing a couple months ago. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy week for the earnings. I really can't wait for Mara tomorrow. Everybody's talking about Mara. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go all in on Mara. Guys, be very, very careful doing that. Playing earnings is risky. Sometimes stocks go up during earnings, sometimes they don't.
Good point, especially with a stock as crazy and volatile as Mara, and especially with that extra crypto craziness that's going on right now. But another thing that's worth keeping in mind is the economic schedule for this week. So tomorrow will be a pretty calm day, as there aren't any major economic events, but there are a handful of Fed speakers, as we could see on the lineup. And then on Wednesday, we do have some pretty important inflation data. We have Powell speaking on Thursday, and then we have some economic data like the retail sales data coming out on Friday. So we have a full week ahead, Tom. I think this week's going to be a really great one in terms of opportunities, and it sure started off on a great on a great tone, you can say. So let's get right into some SPY levels and analysis. The market is right at its all-time highs. Tom, what are the most important levels in charting analysis that you are seeing right now?
Yeah, so for today, I'm really watching that 597.50 support, which we actually talked about yesterday quite a bit, and the SPY ended up hitting that pretty close today. It broke a little bit under there, ended up touching at 597 even, which, again, we're at new uncharted territory. There was actually no hits off 597 previously. They were more around 596.50. So you do see these whole dollar levels see some good inflows and just buying pressure off of those. So watch every whole dollar level while we're in these uncharted territories. I just want that to be established first. But as the major levels for tomorrow, 595 will be a big support if we start to break under this like range here between 596.50 and 597. 595 and 594 were huge from last week, and we saw a lot of bounces there. Overhead, of course, everybody has to watch $600. This morning, we actually broke 600. New all-time highs in pre-market, almost touched 601, ended up coming back down. So I'm watching that as well as 599, where we saw a lot of bounces intraday today. So those are a lot of the levels that I'm watching for tomorrow, Mike. Right now, the big thing is adapting with the momentum. If you did not adapt on the SPY trading today, you probably got hurt.
Yeah, and like that's the key thing. It's like there is a lot of bullishness in the market right now, but we are also getting to the point where the market is up quite a bit over like the past week, and it's only natural for there to be some periods of slowdown, and you have to be prepared and ready for those periods of slowdown. So definitely keep that in mind, and SPY has been pretty crazy over the short term. So I'm excited to see how it progresses throughout the rest of the year. But let's get right into some setups and predictions. A stock I am still watching very closely is ticker symbol ACHR. This is a stock that we've been hitting on quite a bit in the short term. There were 2 recent big money trades with this one, and this stock popped up by 16% today. So it was a great day for many people out there. I love the short-term momentum that's building with this one. I love the big money trades. I really like the price action, and I love how much volume is surging into this. Overall, I really like the reward to risk playing ACHR to the upside over the next couple of weeks and months. Again, I love the short-term momentum, but that does not mean it has to go up every single day. When you have a stock that moves up by 16% in a day, it also has volatile moves in both directions.
Yeah, it definitely does. And the last time that ACHR actually moved off of this $3 support all the way back up to $5 or higher, I'm going to go ahead and circle this on the chart. There were a few times where there was actually some good consolidation on the way up. And ACHR right now is pretty close to kind of like where it was when it consolidated last time. It got to like 475, 480 before consolidating there. So I'll definitely be watching ACHR though, Mike. These big money plays are fire. And I love seeing them in the profits channel too. That is even better, right? But with my first play, I'm looking at SQ. We talk about this stock quite a bit. It ended up popping up 11.8% today with all this crypto hype going on. Let's go SQ, or block as we'll call it now. Some people like to make fun of the name change, but they are getting pretty close to resistance on the daily, but they've been stuck down here for a long time. With all this crypto hype, this is exactly what they need to get back into this $90 resistance and possibly even break it. So I'm definitely watching Square, not even for tomorrow, but for the next few weeks.
Sounds good. Yeah, that one's been trending pretty nicely, so I will keep it on my radar as well. But another stock that is definitely close on watch is Microsoft, and it is actually to the downside. As we talked about a couple minutes ago, we saw an interesting rotation out of big tech today where there was certainly more selling pressure than most people would think. I think this is ultimately showing relative weakness, not only with Microsoft, but big tech in general. Because of that, Microsoft will be on my close bearish radar going forward. In the event we do see more profit taking come into play and even more panic build with other big tech stocks, I think there's already like an element of weakness with Microsoft where if we see actual momentum build with it, it can make for a pretty good bearish move. Either way, Microsoft is definitely on watch to the downside.
Yeah, and this little bounce today almost looks like a little dead cat bounce or something like that. So I'm definitely watching it down too, Mike. I like that 420 resistance that it hit there towards the end of the day today. With my next setup, how could we not look at Tesla, right? We called it out yesterday. It did very well. It broke above 330, and at open today, at least initially, had a pretty good move overall. It was, semi-choppy throughout the day, but at least it had that good run to that new recent high there. I'm going to be looking tomorrow for a breakout above 360. You can see that's right around the high of day today, and guess what? A lot of people were ready for this today. At 350 and 360, there were a ton of sellers on the Bookmap, Mike, and you can see even 350, there were a ton of rejections today. So looking at this for tomorrow, 350. A lot of sellers ended up coming back in. So we're going to be watching that level very closely as a decent area of support, possibly, if this stock gets above there in pre-market or holds above there in pre-market. 360, though, is going to be the main resistance. If we get that good breakout, there's 306,000 shares stacked there. So it's definitely one of the bigger sell walls in the short term for Tesla. And with it being one of the most popular stocks, I figured that we would definitely look at some of the bigger walls that were out there today.
Yeah, like when you have over 300,000 shares stacked up at 360, that is that's a pretty big sell wall to get through. So we'll see if Tesla can get to this level, and if it can, how it responds at this level will be very interesting. But yeah, I will definitely keep Tesla close on watch as well. And besides that, Tom, let's jump right into today's momentum plays. And with the first one, we have Affirm to the upside.
AFRM, insane, 23%. Look at that end of day run up with them. If they're able to get above $58, keep watching for the run higher. Of course, there's a ton of momentum here. Make sure that you're seeing that momentum tomorrow.
Sounds good. With the next one, we have PayPal, also to the upside.
PYPL, loving that short-term price action. Also, if they're able to break above 87.50, right above the high of day, watch PayPal up as well.
All right, and then with the last one, we have Coinbase to the upside.
Yeah, Coin. I mean, how could we not, right? You could almost throw in 20 different stocks here and just say, hey, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, BTBT. I almost can't even name enough of them now with all the ETFs, like IBIT even as well. But if Coinbase can really break that high of day today and double top right around 335, then keep watching it up.
All right, so we have Coinbase, PayPal, and Affirm on watch for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, if and only if they break through the levels Tom listed. The stronger and more consistent these stocks move, the better the setups become. But just like we said in the beginning of today's video, you have to be willing to adapt and flow with the trend changes. While there's a lot of explosive price action right now, if you do not adapt with the trend changes, you will get ran over. So definitely keep that in mind. Being adaptable is one of the best traits you can have as a trader. But besides that, Tom, let's jump right into today's $600,000 big money trade. And we are looking at ticker symbol AFRM. So this stock has been crushing it over the past year and especially over the past couple months. And the big money is betting bullish on this one. They bought $600,000 worth of the 60 strike call options that expire on December 6th of 2024. Side note for my advanced traders, this is technically a call debit spread where they also shorted the 65 strike call options, so keep that in mind. Either way, this is a bullish trade where the big money wants AFRM to go up. Looking at this setup, AFRM is very volatile right now and it's very crazy, which is a good thing and a bad thing. As long as you could handle the volatility in the short-term aspect of a trade like this one, then maybe you keep it on the radar, where if you're someone who doesn't like this level of volatility, then maybe you either skip the setup or you wait for a more advantageous buying point. Either way, Affirm is moving with a lot of momentum right now, and this is a pretty bold trade with not too much time left to it, Tom, so I think this is going to be a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, it's under a month from today, and whenever you go back on like the weekly chart, this stock has been getting through some pretty big resistance recently, right around that $50 to $52 area. So, we might be seeing a pretty good breakout happening. So I'm definitely going to be watching this one very closely. I like it quite a bit. There's a lot of momentum here. I like that it's short term as well. For me, it's kind of like a play like, hey, are we going to continue up for the next few days? I think that's kind of where the opportunity is at with AFRM here. I will say $60 is a nice whole dollar spot coming up to watch as a little resistance in the short term. But overall, pretty ballsy big money play here, Mike. We don't always get a lot of short-term ones like this.
I know, and it's like a little bit far out of the money as well. So it's definitely a bold trade, and I'm excited to see how it does. So let's definitely keep it on the radar going forward. But we can't go any deeper into today's video without giving a giant shout out to today's member of the day, Icy Pro in the StockedUp Discord. Talk about a profits post today. Holy crap. So I know you've been pretty bullish on the crypto side of the market for a while now, and I'm sure you're eating steak tonight along with many other people in the profits channel. Huge shout out to you, Icy. Keep up the great work going forward, and hopefully BTBT keeps skyrocketing for you so we could see even crazier gains than what we're seeing now. And Tom, how about that action in the profits channel overall? It was a sea of green today.
Yeah, I don't even know how we. Obviously there was a clear member of the day, right? But there were a ton to pick from today. I mean, great job to everybody out there. I saw some great plays across crypto stocks. We have one truce here with a bank stock, Bank of America. I even saw some like 1,000% gainers out there. I mean, it was one of the best days I think that we've seen the profits channel in a long, long time. So keep it up. It's an awesome time to be a trader, right? We keep saying that, and I think that the profits channel popping off is just good proof of that right now.
Big time. If you guys are into short-term trading, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below to get in on the Stocked Up trading floor. That way you'll get full access to our army of custom trading robots. You can chat with many of the people you see in the Profits channel, join our weekly live events, access the big money trades every single day they come out before we talk about them in the videos, among many, many other resources and benefits. If you're into short-term trading, it is the place to be, and SurgeBot went off today, as we can see with the screenshot here. The best play of the day was in the firm call option that popped up by 567%. MSTR calls popped up by 399%. Mara calls popped up by 270%. And there was a lot of great action all around, even with some counter trend opportunities as well with JP Morgan and SMCI. If you guys are into short-term trading, check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. But besides that, thank you all so much for watching, and let's crush it in the market this week.